time the recording will start.
Okay, so I'm going to be calling on the first speaker for this evening, a person that we all know, and I would not want to bore us again. But for the sake of those that don't know him, Mr. Olasukomi Okwaifa is a Microsoft Innovative Educator Expert Fellow. He's going to be the first person that will be taking us on the introduction, the benefits, the criteria, and the tips for nomination. So, Mr. Olasukomi, you have the stage.
All right, thank you so much. Thank you, thank you, thank you. All right. Okay, okay. So while I'm waiting for the screen to be shared, I'll also be looking at it from here too. All right. Okay. Thank you. Now, the fact that we could all come in here to join this program using Microsoft Teams is one of the very big criteria to show that yes, we are ready to be nominated and we are almost experts. Okay, so we're going to just jump into it straight ahead. What is Microsoft Innovative Educator Expert? What are the benefits for us there? What are the criteria for becoming an expert? And then what are the tips for a successful nomination? Okay, these are the things I'm going to be looking at before I hand over to my very senior colleague, expert and fellow, Olalekan Adieko, will be joining us very soon. So here we are now with the introduction. Now, who are the? I don't know whether many. Okay, let's make it a form of teaching so that we can also be part of the engagements too. How many of us have heard of Microsoft Innovative Educator Expert Program, or you've heard some people call themselves MIE, or you've heard them say we are Microsoft Innovative Educator Experts, or something related to anything Microsoft Educator? So I'm going to go into the chat to go and wait for you there. If you have heard anything, say you have heard something. If you have not heard something about it, just say you have not heard anything in the chat. Okay. Now, if you're an expert, I can see some experts in the house. I can see their hand now. Please don't bother to say you've heard anything. If you are an expert already, I know you have seen names now. So, but you have not heard anything. Okay, yes, for me. Motesha said I have. Nelson, I have. Okay. Hearing it for the first time. Okay, you have not then. Okay, hearing it for the first time. Okay, that's English language for you. All right. So you're in the category of those who have never heard, or you are hearing it now through this program. Okay, fantastic. I think I can take two more. I have, okay, based on what I have here now, I think about half of us have heard, half of us have never heard. Even I think more than half now. All right, so let's take the next question now. How many of us are experts here? You are a Microsoft Innovative Educator Expert. Okay, now Emeka said I have heard. I mean, out of all these people that I have heard now, because if you have never heard, that means you are not an expert. Out of these people that I have heard now, how many of you are experts here? Mary, are you an expert? Inna Emeka, are you an expert? Afolaka, are you an expert? Nelson, are you an expert? Omotesho, are you an expert? I mean, those people that have answered my question now, let's know. I am fantastic. Of course, I can see. Okay, okay. I mean, Ashafa and Sadiku never said they've never had, and I know them to be experts. Quite all right. Can now experts are now the ones talking. Okay, Afolake said yes and no. I don't know. Maybe I will understand what the yes and no means. Maybe she was once an expert, then she didn't nominate herself for the next round, and then she stopped being one, or she nominated and she wasn't selected. I can say for now. Oh, I can't say for now. Let me assume that's what it means. I can't say for now. Okay, somebody said it all depends on the definition. All right. Okay, okay. If you are, oh, somebody said not you. I mean, this is interesting now. All right, beautiful. All right, so all this put together, may I apologize that you may not be able to see my video quickly. You should know the condition of Nigeria. We are just in one corner of one place that we can get network. So it's been long and so couldn't nominate last time. All right, I tend to. All right, somebody is now asking a very germane question that I was about to get into. Am I a Microsoft certified? I am a Microsoft certified educator. not an innovative expert. I think this person tends to understand the difference between the two. Beautiful, beautiful. So I think we can continue the training now while the screen remains shared. I'm going to remain on the message, then I'll be on my own computer here looking at it while Miss Shola Sojibra will let me share the screen from there. So now, who are Microsoft from away from my slide that I have here? Microsoft Innovative Educator Experts are one, self-nominated teachers. They nominate themselves that yes, okay, I'm going there. I'll get there to say the difference between MC and MIE. I'm going to clear that. Now, these are teachers that believe that they are using technologies in their classroom to enhance the learning, regardless of their subject. And then they now feel that they are quote and unquote experts enough, and then nominate themselves. And then they also now get selected by Microsoft Education Department, let me put it that way, to be experts. And there is always a certificate for it. Now, once you do this, you have to remain an expert for 1 year. Okay, I mean, you carry that status for 1 year, and then you can renominate yourself by self-nominating yourself again. So I believe that English is clear enough. Let me take it again now. MIEE. Now let's mark it now. There is an expert. There used to be MIE. That's you are a member of you are a certified Microsoft Innovative Educator. That one is different. I may get back to that later. But when you are an MIEE, double E, that is you are a Microsoft Innovative Educator Expert. It means that you are very confident in your skill as a teacher, in your ability to use technology in the classrooms. And let me be very specific, Microsoft technologies in the classroom. And then every year like that, there's nomination. Now the year there's a nomination, you nominate yourself. And then you now get selected based on the questions you answer, the survey, and your responses to the questions. And you now get selected sometimes around August, July, August as a Microsoft Innovate. You'll be welcomed, and then you will now be issued a certificate in a space of time. Then you can say you are an expert, and you now carry this status for 1 year, which will expire, and then you will have the chance to renominate yourself. So the first nomination may be a bit difficult because you need to do a lot of things. You answer a lot of questions, which we're going to delve into in the second session. And then once you are coming back again, it's just to ask to tell us what you have been doing as an expert. Then you move on to the next one. I joined sometimes in 2019. I mean, I just felt, which might be the thought of so many people, that I wasn't a computer teacher. So why would I need to nominate myself as a Microsoft? In anything Microsoft, you're thinking of the screen, okay? And then thanks to my mentor and friend, Olale Kwandeko, said, no, it doesn't matter. And I did my very funny first video and how I use technologies in my class. And I've been using technologies long before now, before then. And luckily I was selected in 2019. And when I saw the opportunity, I pushed it on again. I did a lot, which I'm going to talk about. And in a space of 1 year, I became a fellow. This is a very rare situation. Interestingly, I mean, I can say this that so that to encourage non-science or non-computer teachers, I happen to be the only non-computer teacher that is a fellow in Nigeria. And what I did differently was just during that lockdown when I had to go, like, all teachers must learn this. Today we teach Excel, tomorrow we'll teach PowerPoint. I mean, we kept on doing different trainings. Okay. And then my work was very visible, and I was nominated as a fellow and I got it. And to be a fellow means you are an elder in the house. So let's move on now. So I think that's an introduction. So let me quickly read through my slide. The Microsoft Innovative Educator Expert Program, okay, was created to help you learn, grow, and connect with teachers, principals, and other educators. It's a community of self-driven educators who are passionate about integrating Microsoft technology into teaching and learning, who inspire students with creative thinking, and who enjoy working collaboratively. So that's all it is. So maybe we could move on to the next slide. All right. So what are the benefits? Why do you need to be a Microsoft Innovative Educator Expert? What are the things? Please just give me like few seconds. All right. Sorry, I want to remain on the message so that in case any message is coming in, I'll be taking it. So I'm doing that to be sure I'm there. All right. So what are the benefits? As you can see on the screen here, if you become an expert, then you have access to professional and career development opportunities. Now, for you to be an expert, you need to uh, I would say that later, but let me just put it this at the beginning here now. You need to have been a member on the Learn community, the Microsoft Learn space, where you have access to free courses. A lot of amazing courses are there. Okay, so that's one of the advantages. So when you now become an expert, you don't stop growing. I remember then in 2019, when all of us became experts, I mean, so many teachers like that, we went on, then it used to be Microsoft Educator Center, Microsoft Educator Center, and we will go there and take courses, get badges, get certificates, finish learning paths. I mean, it became like a form of competition between me and a particular friend in Lagos. So we kept on learning so many things that I never thought of as a teacher. I mean, I met them there. Talk of 21st century learning design. Talk of dyslexia even as a teacher. Talk of how to design thinking, and so many things like that as related to technologies. We kept on learning all this there. So that's one of the advantages there. You are in a big community. So that's on that platform. Then also in the house, you have access to learning from your colleagues. Although this year we've not really done so much well in the house, but we organize trainings on a regular basis. There are opportunities for you to get better all the time because you meet people, and then the fellow will organize not tutorials now. We organize seminars and webinars and workshop where you can learn and get developed career wise. Another advantage is that, of course, I mentioned that earlier now, you have access to certification programs. These are the things you can put together. I want to believe with my MIE certificate and other things you get there, if you put them in your CV and you submit to any good school as looking for a teacher and they see that you are an expert and you have achieved so many things. You know what we call 21st century design. You know what we call, as an English teacher, you know how to handle a dyslexic child in your classroom and so many other things I can't even mention here now. Then such a school look at us, you have a lot of things. So this one can boost your CV. I think I'm even jumping everything together. It's an exclusive community of teachers that uses ed tech to enhance learning. You meet amazing educators in the house. You meet someone like Dr. Olunriola Kemi. You meet someone like Ayodele Diogbola. You meet the wonderful AI man of Olalekan Adieko, and so many other wonderful teachers, wonderful educators that have been using technologies in amazing way. And one thing about the community is that we are very open to helping one another. You can always send a message, okay, this is what I'm doing now. Can I do this now? And then we are there. They also share their learning by playing. I think everything is just interwoven, playing roles in regional training sessions, giving presentations at conferences, writing blogs, engaging in social channels. Now, being an MIE, especially in Nigeria, because of the elders that we have, they always get opportunities where you can be nominated to say, okay, go and train in this particular area. Now, you may not be given so much or might not be given anything, but you have your story already packed that you have impacted 50 teachers. You have impacted a certain number of teachers, and anytime you are writing your story for any nomination of whether awards or any other thing in future, you can always say that yes, you have trained teachers using technology. I told you earlier, how did I become a fellow? During the lockdown, I discovered that most women were not using technology enough, and I started what I call female teacher leveraging tech, which we still have up to today. And I kept on training women, ladies in the classroom, of course online, and then at the point, we felt okay, we could make it open to most teachers, and we kept on training different things here. Opportunity came again. I don't know if some of you are in Lagos teachers. We were asked to train a number of teachers there, and it was the community of MIE that were selected to do the training. And I was, of course, I think I was still the only non-computer teacher among them, and I had the opportunity of training over 3,000 teachers in Lagos State. Today now, most of them are experts. So these are the opportunities you have. And finally, there you can always have it on your CV. You can have it on CV. If you call yourself an MIE and the school you are applying to or any job you're applying to knows what it means, honestly, it is just an edge for you there. So let's move on to the next slide where we are looking at the criteria now. What are the things you need to be or to have to be an expert? Of course, you must be a school leader. You must be a teacher or a school leader, a professional learning specialist, education coach, curriculum specialist, or anyone who supports teaching and learning and wants to grow your own practice. So what is this telling us? You must just be an educator. Either you are a core educator or a quasi educator. Either you are in the core, you're a teacher in the classroom, or you have something to do with teaching. Our specialist, who was once an expert, and who also remain an expert anyway, wasn't really a classroom teacher. I mean, I'm talking about Babatunde Vaughan. Then he was the leader of MIE in, I think, in Nigeria and Ghana and some other parts of West Africa. He wasn't really a core teacher like in the classroom, but he had this education space for young people then, and he nominated himself. And I know so many other people like that who were not necessarily teachers in the classroom, but once you have anything to do with learning, teaching and learning, directly or indirectly, you are eligible to nominate yourself as an MIE. So I take it again: teacher, school leader, you are a specialist, you are a coach, you train, you are a teacher trainer, then you are eligible. So let's move on to more criteria that you also need to have. Then you must be using Microsoft productivity tools or core tools creatively to enhance learning in your classroom. I mean, you are not just using PowerPoint in your classroom, but how are you using the collaborative part of PowerPoint? Do you know in your PowerPoint, just like what is happening now, you can share your lesson and make your PowerPoint accessible to almost all your students. Just share a link with them and tell them, everyone create a slide and do this assignment. Name your slide your name on one file. Yes, there is Microsoft Online that you must know how to use. Okay, and then you can use it. I mean, you are talking about creative use of all these tools. Now, what do we mean by Microsoft productivity tools? They are Word, they are Excel, PowerPoint, and the core tools are Sway, OneNote, Teams, Forms, Minecraft, Flip. But let's even start from the very basic ones like Microsoft Word, Excel, and PowerPoint. You just use your Microsoft Word to type? No. You just type and you close it there, you copy it in a flash, go and print it outside. There are amazing things you can do. May I quickly say there that if you want to learn a lot about this, kindly follow Olalekan Adieko on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube. You will learn how to use most of these things. I was asked to come and train somewhere, and I needed to prepare my PowerPoint in just like 30 minutes or less than that. And I remember I learning something from him, how to convert your Microsoft Word into PowerPoint in just 5 minutes. And that was it. So how are you using all this creatively to enhance learning in your classroom? Your small Microsoft Word can become a collaborative space. Your Excel can do amazing work. So you need to learn how to do this. Now, it's not necessarily you need to get to become very perfect at this, but you are open to learning and you keep on growing. So that means you are eligible. So some of us, if I ask now whether we've heard of Sway before, we have a lot of experts in the house anyway, but more people have joined now. So if you have heard of Sway before, you can type yes. Let me be sure that you've heard of Sway, you've heard of OneNote, any of these things apart from Word, Excel, PowerPoint. Let's take Sway, OneNote, Teams. Okay, we're all on Teams. Let's remove Teams, Forms, and Minecraft, and then Flip. If you have heard of any of these before, type the ones you have heard before, the ones you have heard, or the ones you know about. Don't say Word, Excel, and PowerPoint anymore. Let me assume you all know that. You may not know all the features of those ones. There is a web version of all of them. So I'm waiting. I'm already in the chat. I think interesting. We have 31 participants in the house. Hello, am I still in the house? Okay, somebody said no, I'm not in the house.
You are in the house.
Okay, I saw no, and then no could mean. All right, that is Mr. Laliko Adieko. You're welcome. How was your training?
I'm fine.
So, okay. All right, somebody has heard of OneNote before and Minecraft. Oh, fantastic. I'm not sure. Fantastic. Okay, somebody said no except for PowerPoint. All right, I've heard of Sway before. Okay, maybe I should have even asked for that. How many of you have used any of this? I mean, it's interesting to know that Microsoft Forms can do amazing work than the Google form that we all always try to use. I prefer to use Microsoft Forms. Let me tell you one of the things that you need that's an advantage of Microsoft Forms. You don't need any account, either Microsoft account or Google account, to sign in. Okay. Okay. So Gloria is saying you have heard of all that I mentioned. So for forms, for Microsoft Forms, you don't need to have an account for you to respond to question rather on Microsoft. For let's say you want to create a survey now or a quiz or anything, your student wouldn't need to have created a Microsoft account for them to answer the question, unlike Google Form where you need to sign into your Google account before you use it. So those are the advantages of this. So you must be able to use, because in the process of you nominating yourself, you'll be asked how you have used any of this. So that's why we are saying this. All right, you've had all of them. All right, I mean, we are glad that we are there now. So you must have used them. I have used Sway, of course. I know, sir. You have used Sway. Dr. Sadiku is in the house. If I'm not, I think I'm sure. I'm sure of this name I'm saying. So Dr. Sadiku Bashir. You are welcome, sir. If I'm not wrong, but I think I'm not wrong. All right, let's move on. You must also have signed up on Microsoft Learn community and have taken at least 2 to 3 the three courses, the three learning paths here. You must have taken Microsoft Educator Academy. You must have taken Master Microsoft Teams for any learning environment. And then you must have taken 21st Century Learning Design. Mr. Lolekon will tell us more about this. Well, I have not been renewed. I've been renewing my own account, so I've not been creating as a new person. In those days, you must have must have minimum of 1,000 points on your Microsoft Educator Center for you to nominate yourself as an expert. So I'm not sure if we still have those points anymore. But however, you must have started some of these courses I mentioned here now. Mr. Lolekon will tell us more about this. Microsoft Educator Academy as a learning path, Master Microsoft Teams for any learning environment, and 21st Century Learning Design. So to an extent, you must have been assisting your professional learning community on how to use Microsoft tools. You know, many of us are very interestingly generous. We have ideas of how to use certain things and we want to keep the ideas to ourselves. When you want to become an expert, then your generosity must multiply by 2. As soon as you learn something new, you want to teach other people. You want to create a community around yourself, just like what you are doing now. I mean, do you know, I never knew this. It was just this collaborative skill within me that I started using during lockdown, and that made me a fellow. I'm still emphasizing that. And then by the time the older fellows were asked to nominate, I was just picked. And I mean, you can imagine somebody in the space of 1 year becoming a fellow in the house. So you must be very collaborative and be ready to assist others, either on a one-on-one basis or bringing people together, training them. So away from criteria, and I think I've done that exhaustively. Please, tips for success. Is that where we are going next? I want to get the tips of success. It shows that I have also come to the end of. So what do you need to succeed? I think I just need to repeat this. Sign up on learn.microsoft.com. Mr. Lalek will tell us that. To make your work easier, no, these are tips. You know, when you say tips, you can take it and then you can maximize them. You know, not necessarily you do everything. To make your work easier, create an Outlook account. Okay, if your Microsoft email, something like, as I put it here, starteacher@outlook.com. At times, it can be very frustrating if you want to use Gmail, and then you won't blame Microsoft because it's a big market where both of them are competing. You know what is happening between Microsoft's Edge and Google Chrome. You understand the competition, right? Once you sign in with Microsoft, you will go to a website that belongs to Microsoft, and you are using Google, you'll be asked to the same thing the other way around too. So to make your work easier, I've observed that we had a challenge helping some teachers to do certain things on Microsoft because we were using Gmail. So as soon as we ask them to create an Outlook account, it becomes automatic because you have access to all the Microsoft platforms with just your own account. However, that doesn't mean that when you now want to use any of the tools, anybody you are using it with, like that Microsoft Forms now, still cannot access. No, with whatever you have, you can still access it. You don't need to. It's not as stressful as Google Form. But for this particular program, it's advisable you create your own Microsoft account so that you can have access to the calendar, to your Word online, web version of the Microsoft Word, PowerPoint, and Excel. So tell your teacher story from the angle of impact. Okay. Now, when you are asked, you'll be asked some stories. Now, how have you impacted either your student or your professional in the community? There are some questions that you'll be asked. How have you helped others in the community? What have you done? What would you intend to do? Talk about the number of, but make it quantitative. In the last 1 year, I have been able to teach in a class where we have altogether 50, 500, blah, blah, blah students or teachers. I mean, how much have you impacted people? That's when you are telling your story. And then please learn how to use, no matter how small, at least have an idea of how to use Minecraft. Know what you can do with OneNote. I mean, I'm happy that most people in the house, or one or two people have said they've used it before. Somebody said, I once had a OneNote, but I've not used it. It's an interesting tool, I must tell you. I found myself in a seminar for like about 6 weeks, and others were writing seriously. With my OneNote, I was able to create different sections and different department, different portfolios for my different lessons. And when I got back home, I had it already arranged because I was just typing, and it's just one beautiful thing you want to learn. Maybe one of these days, Mr. Lalekon will delve into that. Somebody said he or she has done 21st century LPD, and she's certified. Yes, okay, that's fantastic. You meant 21st century learning design, okay, and then you are an MCE. Now it helps when you are filling your form. So I'm answering the question alongside now. So because the next thing is to answer question. So when you are filling your form of nominating yourself, there will be a particular place where you'll be asked to select some of the professional courses you have done. MC is one of them. Having MOS is one of them. So this is one of the things that can give you an edge when you are nominating yourself. So fantastic. You are welcome. I mean, hope to see you by August as an expert. All right. So please, no matter what, know how to use any of these tools. At least as you must know how to use forms. There's no point little. There's nothing like little there. Use forms extensively. Know something about Minecraft in case you are not even using it. Maybe you don't have access to it. You don't have the computer. You don't have means. Know what they do with it. Then OneNote also, Sway also. Sway is just like PowerPoint that you can use for presentation, but it's very amazing and beautiful to use. I was somewhere too and I used it. A lot of educators and experts from other fields were there. They were just like, oh, what is this? Tell us, how have you done? I mean, beautiful. I remember I was somewhere too and I used this feature on PowerPoint subtitle. So I was speaking English, and as I was presenting, my screen was there because I was very close to my computer. I was speaking English, and my computer was translating it in French. And we had people from other countries too that were there. They were they were surprised. So at the end of the day, the only question they could ask me was that, sorry, tell us how you did it. And it has always been there. As I told them, it has always been there. Just go there and pick it. So these are the features you want to also say you've been using. Extra features. How have you been using immersive reader? Have you heard of immersive reader before? Have you heard of there's immersive reader, there's the dictate. Have you used the dictate before? Have you used the design ideas before? Those are the things you want to use on your regular PowerPoint, your regular Excel, your regular Word, that when you put in your story nominating yourself, they will give you an edge. Okay. So finally, one of the ways to also nominate yourself and be successful is to listen to Olalekan Adeyeko when he wants to talk, because I am just like John the Baptist. I'm just a forerunner. He is the one that will handle the rest. So question and answer, I've answered one of the questions. So while we are waiting for that, you can put my beautiful handsome picture up there where you can follow me everywhere. Once you search for Sunaksam, yes, you can follow me to learn more. All right, so in the message now, can we take one or two questions so that we can move on to Mr. Olalekan Adeyeko before it's too late? Or one more question because I've taken one already. Thank you for listening. One more question. Going. 3. Going. 4. I mean, that's 2. Going. 1. Please, can I the slide? Can you have the slide? No, I won't share this slide with you. Sorry. Please, the slide is not meant to be shared. All right. Thank you so much, Ms. Shola Sujibra, for assisting me. So we come back to the house now, where I'll hand over back. Okay, yeah, sorry, because of network, right? We are recording. So the recorded version will be shared by the grace of God.